Why a rupees 6,000 crores highway trust is a signal that India's financial markets are evolving. So let's decode that. So what does every country go through? So it goes through an economic life cycle. And what does it move from? It moves from the emerging markets to the developed nations. And what happens to the financial markets during this shift? So they become deeper and more sophisticated and with more complex, investment tools. And what are the broad types of investments available to the investors? So the first is the traditional investments, and then comes the alternative investments. And what are the traditional investment available? So there are equity, debt, and fixed deposit. And what starts growing as a country starts developing? They are alternative investments. And what is a recent example in India for this? It is NHI-backed Rajmarg Infrastructure Investment Trust, raising rupees 6,000 crores. तो पहले तो ये एक IPO जैसा दिख रहा है, but what it is actually, it is an InvIT. Now, what is given instead in the InvITs? So they are given units in a trust. And what does a trust actually own? So they are the operational infrastructure assets that they own. And what are these infrastructure assets? So they can be toll roads, power transmission lines, or pipelines. These are the assets that they hold as the infrastructure assets. Now, what developers create an InvIT? So it is created to recover the capital very quickly. Why do they want the capital quickly? So they can build the new infrastructure projects. And if you say what investors actually receive in this, so they receive the cash flows generated by these assets. And what is InvIT similar to? So it is similar to like a third funding of the operational infrastructure that you can say. Now, where do these cash flows arise from? So they arise from toll collections, transmission charges, and the usage fees. And what must the original developer retain? So they must retain minimum 15% of the ownership. And why must they retain this ownership? To ensure that the long-term commitment to the asset is there. And what's an InvIT investor essentially buy? So they are essentially buying the shares of the infrastructure cash flows. And what asset does the Rajmarg InvIT that we had talked about operates on? So they operate five toll road stretches. And which are these five toll roads that is located on? So they are located on the Golden Quadrilateral Highway network, which connects the four major cities of India. And what determines the toll revenue and the cash flows of this? So it is determined by the traffic volume. And what reduces the traffic volume? So it can be economic slowdown, fuel price increase, or alternative roads that are available, policy changes. And why is this important for India? Because alternative investments are rapidly growing in India, because India is growing and becoming more complicated and more sophisticated. If you found this insightful, do follow us, share this with someone who thinks amazing just like you.